Hello, good people. How are you? Ravasco here, coming to you so that we can educate ourselves more about animals of Africa and some other several things. So I will be bringing to you episodes, short episodes about the most common animals we have in Africa and special facts about them, so that any day you meet an animal on a safari, you will be able to relate with them in a more closer way than before. So please follow, like, subscribe, and invite your friends on this journey of learning. We will learn a lot, guys, because we will be learning from animals from all over Africa, starting with Etosha in Namibia, Kruger National Park in South Africa, Liwende in Malawi, Waza in Cameroon, Masai Mara here in Kenya, and Niokolokoba in Senegal. So please, let's go on. Today, our very first episode, I'll bring you common facts about snakes. For this particular episode, because snakes are just similar like in Africa and other continents, so I'll just cover basic facts that you should know about snakes, because a snake is a very mysterious animal. Most of the people don't know much about it. So today I'll be educating you on more about facts about snakes. Then in the other episodes we'll go into particular species. So allow me to start and walk with me in this journey. Welcome. So, the very first fact that I will start with about snakes is that in the whole world, we have around 3,700 species of snakes all over the world, which makes them among the largest group of reptiles we have in the world. Maybe after the lizards, the snakes should be coming second. Number two, you're supposed to know that the body temperatures of snakes is regulated by the outside environment. Snakes do not have a mechanism to regulate their bodies from inside, so they rely on the outside elements like the sun and others to dictate their body temperature. To the next fact is that you should know that not all snakes lay eggs. Some snakes do give birth, and we shall derive much into that when we will be covering the species by species, but you should know that not all snakes lay eggs. So on to the next fact, we said that snakes do not have eyelids like the ones we humans do have, but they have a thin transparent membrane. That is what used to protect their eyes. It's known as Brille, which means glasses in German. That is what they use to protect their eyes. They do not have eyelids that you to close like the ones we have as human. On to the next fact today about snakes is that snakes use their tongue to smell. Okay, they have the nostrils for breathing, but they use their tongue to smell, where they gather the receptors from the air, and it is translated by an organ called Jacobsons organ that is just at the roof of the mouth. So snakes do smell with their tongues. That is why you will find all the time the snakes have their tongue out, trying to catch different odor from the air. And also most snakes use that to hunt. They can feel for the scent of the prey, and now they'll have a direction on where the prey is. And that is, for that reason, is why we have snakes have their tongues is forked two way, to increase the receptors, and also the snake can be able to smell different directions, different dimensions at the same time. So we have learned that snakes smell using their tongue, translated by Jacobson's organ at the roof of the mouth. And the Jacobson's organ, by the way, is named after the person who discovered it. He was called Ludwig Jacobson. That is the person who is named after that Jacobson's organ that is used to translate the scents that snakes pick from the outside environment. And also the Jacobson organ is also called the vomeronasal organ. That is what snakes, and actually we have a lot of other animals that do have that organ, but now because we are talking about snakes, they have the Jacobson's organ that they used to translate the scents and the smell in the environment. On to the next fact is that all snakes are carnivores. They eat meat or products of other animals like eggs. We have snakes that feed on animals, and we have other snakes that feed on eggs. We have egg eaters, but all snakes are carnivores. We do not have snakes eating grass. please. All snakes are carnivores. That is learned. On to the next fact is that all snakes, especially those in the continents which have extreme weather, snakes brumate. Brumate and hibernate are two different things, because hibernation is mainly for the mammals, where they go into a deep sleep until the weather, maybe winter, clears up. But for the snakes, they brumate, and most of the reptiles. Brumation means, yes, they go into a deep sleep that reduce the metabolism rate of their body, but they do have breaks to go and maybe take water, have a sip of water, a few active breaks. But that's why they brumate. They do not hibernate. It is similar but very different from hibernation. Consider that brumation, they take breaks for water, and they can be, even if you maybe touch a snake on brumation, you can see some action which is different from hibernation. Now, to the next fact is that snakes hiss as a warning sign. That is the sound that snakes make, and it is always a warning sign. You are too close for comfort. That is why you hear a snake hissing. On to the next fact. We talked about snakes using their tongues to smell. So snakes here using earbones that are inside the head of the snake. They can detect vibrations, but they do not have external ears as most of the other animals do have. So they have inside internal earbones that they use to detect mostly vibration, because they are on the ground. On to the next fact. Snakes grow each and every day, just like most animals, but their skin does not grow with them. So for that reason, every twice or thrice a year, the snakes shed their skin. And during the shedding, their eyes become like kind of opaque because of the skin and all that. And at that particular stage, the snake feels threatened. They are very, because it feels threatened because it is in a state that it is not as active as before. So most of the snakes during this shedding period, they tend to hide, they tend to disappear. They do not want any kind of disturbance. You'll find them rubbing against a rock so that they can remove that dead skin. Another one is already in place to replace the skin that is being removed every twice or thrice a year. So on to the next fact. We have that snakes, because we learned that they swallow their prey whole, they have teeth. Apart from the fangs that most of us know, the two fangs that mostly used to deliver venom and all that, snakes have other teeth that are curved backwards. They are curved backwards because once they swallow the prey whole, the teeth hook. They hook so that the prey cannot come back out, because it is whole, it is not cut into pieces. So they have teeth that all the teeth face backwards. Once the prey is hooked, there's no way out. Step by step until the whole prey is swallowed. On to the next fact is that snakes can swallow something that is 75% bigger than its size, including the mouth size, because they have flexible jaws for swallowing the prey whole. So that is why they have that ability to swallow something that is bigger in size. Another thing about the snakes is that their eggs do not have that hard shell that we are used to. Their eggs have a leathery shell. It can move. You can feel it. You can move it with the hands. That grows in size as the snakelet inside grows. So it is not a hard shell. It is something that is liquidish. So not like the ones we are used to with the chicken or something. So all snakes that lay eggs, their eggs have that leathery shell, not as hard as we are used to with other animals. On to the next fact is that snakes throw up when in distress. So if you are to find a snake that has just fed or is feeding, and your presence is causing it some stress, snakes tend to throw up so that it is light enough to if it has to run away. So, you know, most of the time once they feed, they have that bulky part of their body where the prey is being pushed down. So once in distress, snakes tend to throw up. You will see the muscles now moving the other way, trying to bring the prey forward, throwing up. So if it has to run away, it is easier for it to go away without that prey inside. So they tend to throw up when stressed. And to our last fact about, general facts about snakes, there are others you can add in the comments. We are all learning. We'll appreciate something maybe I have left out. You're welcome to add. Is that newborn snakes are as venomous as the adults. These creatures are, if it is being hatched from the egg or being born by the mother, they come out with that venom already. So you don't have to say these are young, these are newborn, so you can play with it. The venom that it has in it is as lethal as the venom that is with the adult. I will stop there for today. I will be back in the next episode where I'll go to specific species, especially of the most common snakes in Africa. Then after the snakes, we'll go to another animal, another animal, another animal. There's a lot to learn. But for today, I'll leave you with those general facts about snakes. Then I will be back with more specialized about the cobras, the vipers, the pythons, most of them that we have in Africa. We may not cover everything because we have a lot of them, but we'll be covering of the most common, or the most common. Yes, most, you can say the most common. So have a nice time and continue subscribing. See you in the next one.